Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. This is our Link Up Livingston edition, and we have man, you're almost a co-host. You've been here several times. Yeah, it's Jeff Ard, and long campaign road you're wrapping up right now. 4 weeks left?
Right at 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, you've been going and going. Every time I pull up Facebook, I see you at another event, and one thing I want to credit you for right off the bat is you are making yourself available.
Very.
I saw you just did, and I'd invite anyone to go check out the Coffee with the Candidates podcast that was done in conjunction with the Livingston Parish News. I thought you did a great job answering questions at that one, and we're going to cover some of what you talked about there today and just cover some other interesting information. And I think it was a couple of months ago you did one with me originally.
Yes.
Got a ton of views, so thank you everyone out there for watching that. Let me ask you right off the bat, you're running for parish president, which if you don't know that right by now, you've been living under a rock. And you've been a councilman for 8 years?
I'm in my 8th year right now.
Yeah. How's that been?
Very educational.
To say the least.
Very educational,
Yeah.
yes. It definitely wasn't everything that I thought it was when I first ran, because I had an uncle that was a police juryman, and I kind of still looked at it a little bit as a police jury system. Once I got in there and realized a little bit more about how it truly is ran with the parish president and the council, and realizing that, the council is a legislative body.
Yeah.
We write the laws, but, people do not work under our direction.
Yeah.
They work under administration's direction, and I used to, I can remember people calling my uncle and saying, hey, I need my ditch dug. And he'd go walk inside because we didn't have cell phones then. He'd make a phone call and say, hey, I need y'all to go clean that ditch tomorrow. It doesn't work like that now.
No, it's a lot more to it.
A lot more to it.
To say the least. And y'all been working on a lot of things in the council. And for those of you that maybe follow it or watch on the YouTube channel, there's so many aspects to being on that council and things that you do, from renaming streets to putting streets on overlay list, which is something, but you all the way up to like moratoriums and things of that nature, or controlling growth as much as you can from that aspect, to even widening a servitude, or there's so many things you've done in 8 years. It's a lot of work.
It is. Sometimes it's, we change laws, and then we have a couple of issues that might say, maybe we need to back off of that a little bit, or maybe we didn't go quite far enough. And, you can't always get it right the first time.
That's right.
So you just kind of trial and error type thing, and you hope you get it right the first time. But and sometimes while you're doing this, you have some things that slip in that you didn't really want to slip in, but you have to do it the right way to stop them.
Yeah, and you have to work with other members of the council, and that's something that's very important to keep in mind. Is you could have the perfect plan and the best intentions for the parish, but there has to be a majority that sees it that way in order to get anything done.
Yeah, and look, I've talked to a lot of these candidates that's running for these new council seats.
Yeah,
and I was telling them, be very careful what you promise, telling them what you're going to do, because if you don't have 4 other councilmen that agree with what you want to do, it's not happening.
That's right. That's right. It's majority rules, and the biggest difference being between a councilman and the administrative side is just that they administrate what you put into law.
Yeah.
Obviously, from a parish president standpoint, you have what they call a veto power, and you can veto that. But believe it or not, that can then go back to the council, and they can override that veto with a certain amount of votes.
Yeah, and look, that's one of the things that I've been preaching on the campaign trail is, everybody asks me, are you going to stop development?
Yeah.
Well, look, parish president doesn't have that authority.
Yeah, no.
He just doesn't. He cannot stop development. Parish president's job is to make sure that they follow the rules. Yeah. He does have the power to veto something, but the council can override it. So ultimately, your power is in your council. That's why you have 9 people. You need 5 votes. It's a checks and balance right there, and it keeps the parish from having a dictator that dictates everything that happens in our parish.
That's right.
That's why a council system was invented and put into play.
Well, and one thing I will say about you that I picked up just from you being on the campaign trail and speaking at various places is you're not a dictator. As a matter of fact, a lot of what you say is the total opposite of that. One of the things I know you're a big believer in is finding the right people and letting them do what they do. And, you're coming into an administration, should you be elected, where some people may stay, some people may go. But then it becomes your job to make sure that you have good people around you.
And that's what you have to do. You have to surround yourself with good people. Yeah. And then you have to let them do their job.
Yeah.
If I have to stand over their shoulders and see what they're doing, then I didn't make a good hire.
Yeah.
I've got to go find them people that we need in our parish that can help us do the right job.
Yeah.
Bring the money, go find us grant money that can help our parish. Go find new technology that can help our parish. I do think we have a great finance lady that does our finances for the parish. She does an awesome job.
Yeah.
I believe me and her can work together.
I think she's done an awesome job too.
Done
Jennifer Myers. Yes.
Done a good job. I mean, I think there's a lot of them that I hope they stay. But I'm the type of guy that I'm going to walk in day one and say, who's leaving?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk people into staying, because if you have doubt of working for me, you have doubt.
That's right. That's the last thing you want.
Right. I want someone that believes in me so I can believe in them, and we can work in a good team environment and work for this parish.
When you go in there, let's talk about that for a second. You go in there, it's day one, and boom, you're parish president. What is kind of your first goal that you would like to accomplish?
Well, I mean, the first thing is going to be employees.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, you got to make sure that all the departments have the personnel they need to continue providing the services for the constituents of this parish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hands down, that's first. And then it's, going and working with each department individual. I've always said that what I would like to do is spend a week, 2 weeks in each department.
Yeah.
Go work with them.
Yeah.
Go see what they do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Understand how each department works, what they're having to work with, what can we come up with to make it better, so they can provide better services. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be within the administration itself, working in each of these departments.
Sure.
Trying to figure all that out. I mean, we got, is our equipment outdated? Do we need to look into that? Or, I mean, one of the things I would love to see in DPW is put iPads with our supervisors.
Yeah. So technology.
Little technology, and when they go out there and do a work order, they can enter it the moment they're finished.
Yeah.
The constituent gets an email, the administration gets an email, the councilman gets an email, and everybody that's involved knows, hey, this is completed.
That would be
Taken care of.
phenomenal. Yeah. And look, my bug guy has an iPad.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely need to get that. And I think that's something, while you're on that subject of technology, it's something that you really bring to the table is a new, kind of like a new vision and a new technology side to yourself that you can.
Yes. Yeah. And you can go back and look at the council. We're in the process of rolling into that technology.
Yes.
We're using iPads. We're using an electronic voting system that we're slowly working towards. One of the things that I love about it is it does kind of stop most of the councilmen from just speaking out when they shouldn't speak out. I can't say that it stops all of them.
Right.
But, there's a request to speak button.
Yes.
It will help meetings run like they're supposed to run.
That's right.
And it just shows the power of technology.
I agree.
And I've always said, when I started out in my business, we were handwriting stuff.
Yeah.
You was probably doing the same thing. When we would go order material, we had to handwrite all of it. We did an estimate. We had to handwrite every bit of it. Yeah. And we slowly worked into technology. Yeah. It was so new that when they set a computer on my desk, I had to figure out how to turn it on.
Yes.
Where now I can't even function without a computer.
Yeah, I know.
If my computer goes down, I'm lost.
Yeah.
And I'm that bridge.
Yeah.
I still understand old school, but I see the vision of new school and new technology. And
I think that's perfect. That's a great marriage because if the new technology were to fail, you know what to do. But you definitely, everything is leaning towards that. You really need someone in that position that can handle that, understands that, grasp the advantages of that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to save you a lot of money. And time. Yeah. Yes. There's no doubt. You're at MMR. What do you do for them?
I'm a site manager for them.
Okay.
I've been at the same chemical plant for 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Famosa Plastics.
Yeah.
I run all of their major projects.
Yeah.
Electrical and instrumentation projects. Yeah. We have their instrument maintenance. We actually have a huge project expansion going on right now. Yeah. We have a little over 200 employees in the plant.
Okay.
So I get phone calls all day long.
Yeah, you can
busy. Imagine. Yes.
You stay busy.
I deal with project management.
Yeah.
I deal with planning and scheduling.
Yeah.
Estimating, material ordering, writing contracts, negotiating contracts, policies and procedures.
Everything you deal with as a parish
president, I do it at that scale. I've run from $2,000 jobs to $20 million jobs.
Yeah,
I sometimes will have 20 jobs at one time going on.
Yeah,
I have a board in my office, and my supervisors will walk in, and when that board's full, they just drop their head and walk out. Because it's like we never can catch up. Well, look, we're in the business of making money. So if that board's full, we're making money.
Yeah.
If that board's empty, people are going home.
Right. Well, and look, it's a skill that from a parish president standpoint will do nothing but benefit you, especially with the planning and scheduling aspect of that and the ability to multitask, which is extremely important in a role as a parish president, I would imagine. You've seen things from a councilman's side. And I'm sure as a councilman, you've sat back and sat in that chair and you've thought, I wish administration would do this, or, they could do this better. Or if I were in that role, maybe I could bring this to the table. What would you say is something that you're going to bring to the administrative side that maybe currently not necessarily missing, but that you have some experience in and you would like to see change?
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork with parish president and the council.
Makes the dream work, as they say.
That's how it should work. Mm-hmm. As a parish president, I plan on being very, very accessible.
Yeah.
I will be at council meetings. They are the most important meeting for our parish.
Right.
I will be there.
Yeah.
If I cannot attend, it won't be just somebody named to be there. It will be someone with authority.
Yeah.
That can make a decision just like me if it's asked of them.
Right.
And we've just lost that teamwork environment in our parish.
Mm-hmm.
From not just between the parish president and the council, the state reps working with each other, the state reps working with administration working with the council working with state reps, working with the senator. Like, we just don't have that teamwork environment that we're all working for one goal, which is to make Livingston Parish better.
You just nailed it. And your state reps and senators and all that, they all play a role in parish government.
Yes.
And very important that you have a working relationship. But you don't have to play golf with them on the weekends or whatever, but have a working relationship and a dialogue that is professional and you'd be amazed at what you could accomplish.
And look, and they're working. It's not like they're not doing their job. It's just, what's the old saying? One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of that feel in our government that, we could be at the council fighting for, school impact fees. That's something that's kind of on the table right now. Right. And you could have some state reps that know about $2 million grant out there for schools.
Yes.
And it's not communicated to us.
That's right.
Or we don't have someone going to their office and saying, hey, right now we're talking about schools. Is there any money here that we might be able to get?
Yeah.
And, that's something that I have said. I definitely will have a liaison with state reps to work with them on a day-to-day basis, be able to bring us back any grant money, any information, anything that can help the parish.
That's huge. And something that we've talked about early on in your candidacy was something that I don't know if I call it, I saw a hole in it, but I would have loved to have seen more access to grants, because the problem is grants are out there, but you got to dig them up. They don't just pop in your lap most of the time. Yeah. And there are some ways of paying for things. And yes, you have to have matches, and a $20 million grant is great, but if you don't have the $10 million to get the $20 million grant, it's worthless. But there's some out there that you could get your hands on if you have someone, like you say, a liaison, talking with these reps and finding these things. So shout out for a good job in thinking about that. Now, one of the concerns that a lot of residents have as of late is animal shelters. Expensive.
Very expensive. I mean, look, to do a true animal shelter right now, we would need about $2 million to get it rolling in the right direction. Yeah. Is that money there? Possible.
Yeah.
Can we get it every year? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's easy to go squeeze and cut this out, cut that out, and we could come up with it the first year.
Yeah.
But then the following years might be hard.
Right.
I have a couple of ideas that I've met with the Humane Society with. I pitched it to them. They liked it. It's ways to generate money for an animal shelter without raising taxes. Yeah. It's basically like fundraisers, to help our animal shelter. One of my ideas would be to raise money to just do spade and neutering clinics with. Yeah. Free spade and neutering.
Yeah.
There's another idea that would help fund animal control. The money would go to it. We actually have some new money that's still a little hush-hush because we haven't gotten kind of our first round that we possibly could use that money to help go into animal shelter.
Yeah.
Really, we have two new sources that's probably fixing to start hitting the budget and will help us out. And I'm sure all that will be released next year, and when we finally get that first round of it.
Very good, and so it's something that's on your radar, and definitely something that you're looking into and trying to get a resolution on. And there's a lot of other issues out there. One of them and I want to kind of get into this a little bit, is the moratorium that's kind of been the talk as of late. And initially there was a moratorium introduced by several councilmen that was a year-long deal.
Yep.
Yeah, that other councilmen didn't think was necessarily fair. There was some issues with that. Let's talk about it a little bit.
All right. Well, let's do a little timeline on it. So last year we had a moratorium while we were rewriting the Section 125, which is our building ordinance.
Yeah.
So I think we were shut down for about 60 days for that one.
Yeah.
Ordinance committee was working twice a week. I mean, we were not going to let it drag around. We got after it. We went to work. We changed everything we could. We didn't want to shut our business down too long.
Right.
We opened it back up. We do have a few things that like I said earlier, we have to go back and tweak it. Necessarily get it right the first time. We need a development built under the new code so we can see if it works.
Yeah.
But in the meantime of that happening, right after we finish that, we get hit with carbon capture.
Yeah.
We start dealing with carbon capture. The whole time we're trying to implement zoning.
Yeah.
We're doing what we can to implement zoning. We're trying to hurry up and get zoning because this will help us with all of this stuff. It would have helped us with carbon capture. It would have helped us with development. I mean, it wouldn't have stopped it. It would just been another tool for us.
Sure.
There were 4 of us. As soon as we got our maps, we went through there. We did what we thought was the right thing procedure to make it law. We put it in place, and then Deer Run comes along. Deer Run gets in right before we kind of enacted the moratorium last time, and it become a legal issue.
Yeah.
Well, we thought, I voted for District 5 zoning maps. I knew that it was zone R1 where Deer Run was going, which is 1 acre lots.
Yeah.
The problem is when they went to federal district judge, they said map wasn't brought into law properly following state statute.
Yeah.
So it's unenforceable.
Yeah.
Null and void. Well, to me, we can't win a lawsuit.
Right.
There's no way we can win a lawsuit. So you got a judge signing something telling us that, which I have it sitting right here.
Yeah.
So we are offered a settlement. The first settlement they give to us, we denied it. We asked for more time so we could study it. Well, I did that.
Yeah.
We're going to study it. Okay, well, I'm going to take it home and I'm going to study it.
Yeah, you're going to read it.
So when we were offered the next settlement, because there was a few more issues that happened with judge and filed another motion, and the judge finally just come out and said, we don't have a dog in the hunt, and they were not going to allow their courtroom to be used for political grandstanding.
Yeah.
So
good for them.
Just finally said we had enough of it.
Yeah.
Well, when the settlement comes to us, there was a lot of good things that come out of the settlement. Everybody preaches about the fourth entrance. Look, it's just a fourth entrance to me. I don't see where that's that big of a deal. But, if it was going out on another road, and you could make the traffic go in different directions, I would see it being a big deal. But, fourth entrance is one of them. 600 acres along the river. 1,200 acres along the river, 2 600-acre tracts cannot be touched.
Yeah.
That's going to stay just like it is. They originally had a bunch of apartments in the center of it. They changed that to townhomes. I don't remember what the number, but it was I know it was less than half. It dropped from apartments to townhomes, and the townhomes are going to be sold, not rented. They also had to follow our new ordinances, so they were going to do the 20% reduction on the drainage.
Huge.
All of that stuff. So
So they're not only are they not changing it, they're improving
it.
Yeah.
Improving it. So, and then there was the same developer is also the one doing the Blair subdivision that was down in the French Settlement area. Well, part of the settlement, and I'll give credit to Mr. Gerald McMorris, It was approved for like over 600 homes.
Yeah.
Approved.
Yeah.
They were ready to start building.
Yeah.
Mr. McMorris went to the table for them, said, hey, I want you to cut this down to 125. I want 2-acre lots.
Yeah.
Minimum. They agreed to it.
Wow.
So I feel like he stepped up for his people.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And said, hey, I'm going to get the best deal I can for the people that I represent. Mm-hmm. And he did that. And some people don't agree with it, but I'm looking at it as a whole.
Yeah.
With what all we got from Deer Run, you knock Valera down, which is that helps the school system. It's not in many homes. That helps everything that it would have impacted.
Right.
It helps traffic. That's less cars on the road. So to me, that French Settlement area.
And it'll bring some industry out there just with the people that are coming.
The people that's coming. So I felt
tax
like
dollars.
Councilman McMorris made a good deal for the people down there.
Yeah.
Deer Run seemed to be, it could have been way worse. That's 1,200 acres that could have possibly been developed.
Right.
That's not being developed.
Right.
They didn't have to do 20% reduction.
Yeah.
So the people below it would have flooded worse than what they are. There's a lot of things that came of it that was good. So we agree, 5 of us voted on that settlement.
Right.
We vote on it. The same night, the moratorium that 4 councilmen were proposing was on the table. It originally started off as a 2-year moratorium. They got dropped down to a 1-year moratorium.
Yeah.
And it was on everything 50 lots and above or 100 acres or bigger.
Yeah.
The problem is in the settlement, there's a clause that reads, if you vote to accept the settlement, you could not vote for a moratorium that could be imposed on Deer Run, or you would personally be in breach of contract. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. McMorris didn't know about it. He voted for the moratorium.
Yeah.
And it got him in some trouble.
Yeah.
Now he's gotten out of it. He's done the right thing. He handled it. That's a discussion for him. I don't want to get in his business, but that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's what got us kind of back and forth on it. I knew it was there, because I had read the original agreement. So when they brought the new proposal to us, I only had to read like a page.
Right.
Because I already knew what the rest of it said. So I just wanted to know what all the new stuff was. So I knew that was in there. And I went to Mr. Villavasso, which is the professional that we hired.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, we need another moratorium. We need one that can stop this development, but it can't be imposed on Deer Run because of this contract. Mm-hmm. But we can still stop all the new stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do something to stop that. The 1 year was a problem. I said, let's go to the second meeting of the new council. Let them get in there and get their feet wet. And then at the second meeting, they can then make the decision. Do they want to extend the moratorium or zoning implemented and we don't need it any longer? Because it simply says 160 days or until zoning is implemented.
Right.
So if they get zoning done next month, moratorium's over with.
Right.
But that's what we're doing. That's how a moratorium works. You have to have a reason.
Yeah.
Our reasoning is zoning. Yeah. We need it fixed. Right. We need it implemented. So they might come up the next meeting and say, hey, Bill Labasso might tell me he needs 60 more days. They extended for 60 days.
Yeah.
But he has told me that he feels like at that meeting, he will be able to give them an exact time.
Yeah.
Hey, I need 60 days. I need 30 days.
Yeah. And from my standpoint in following this closely, I think your plan was perfect. The issues I have with the original moratorium were the length, number one. I didn't look, if you need a year to get that stuff straight, to me, that's an issue with the council. If it takes you a year, okay. Mm-hmm. So I hope that didn't insult anybody out there, but if it takes you a year to get that stuff resolved, you probably don't need to be on the council. Yes. That's my opinion. 160 days also fit because you have a new council coming in. Mm-hmm. And that new council, for example, your seat will be empty. Whoever fills your seat, they may or may not want to proceed the same way you did. Well, you're forcing that on them if you do it the other way. So I commend you for coming up with that, working with the planner, which is the person who's the professional in that, and making it happen. It's important. That is the hardest thing from a council standpoint, in my opinion, and you probably agree, is how do you control growth without overgrowing to the point that it's just haywire out there with this traffic. You're always probably going to be a little behind on infrastructure versus growth.
Look,
it's hard.
We've been behind on infrastructure for 30 years.
Yeah. Way before,
way before I ever
Randy might have been the only one that was in politics back then.
I think as far as on the council right now, yes. Mr. Bubble was too.
Yeah.
But he's no longer with us. But look, the subdivisions that we're having problems with right now, there were no rules when they were built.
Yeah.
They are the ones that were built 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago. We have rules now.
Yeah.
They're following rules now.
Yeah.
It's these older subdivisions that are the problems.
That's right.
I didn't approve one of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't the councilman.
You weren't there.
I was not there. Yeah. When I came in, it was right away, we need rules. We need rules. And I'll tell you why. I lived on Buddy Ellis.
Yeah.
And when I lived there, they started building Woodland Crossing in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I have been through it.
Yeah.
I moved and I ran for a council seat to try and make a difference.
Yeah.
I have been where other people are. I know what it's like to feel like this is my forever home, and then all of a sudden you have a subdivision built around you. But if we don't do it legally and do it the proper way, we're going to get sued all the time, and we cannot win.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it to where we do have something to stand on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a couple of subdivisions that got through.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that last one.
That's right.
That last one that got through.
That's right.
And I know you don't want it to be in your backyard. You would rather it in someone else's backyard. We don't control that. It just happens to be that's the ones that got through.
Yeah.
I wish we could stop them. I wish we could do more, but what it would cost us in legal fees and fighting it, and we can't win.
Yeah,
we can't win.
That's right, and you've said it many times, and throughout your campaign, and that is you're going to follow the rules, and if you follow the rules and you're on the right side of the law, you're okay.
Okay.
And you're a rule follower.
And that's it. I've always been like that, and it's like I said, in my world, we're in the electrical business.
Mm.
There are rules there to keep people alive so they can go home to their families.
That's right. One mistake by not following the rules can mean your life.
Can mean your life, and that's what's trained me of how to think. You know, I'm responsible for every person that walks through them gates under my direction.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't go home to their family that night, I'm at fault.
Yeah.
So I preach, follow the rules.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you agree with them or you don't, you follow the rules. And I'm the same way.
That's it. Look, you can't fault. That's exactly what you want out of your elected officials. And I want to ask you, you mentioned also in your time here in your campaign about a super board and kind of tell us about that.
Yeah. So once like I said earlier, I didn't know everything when I took office. And I started realizing all these different boards and committees we're over, and you appoint to this board and that board, and realized that at the time we had 5 drainage districts, and we have since combined 2 of them over on the east side and southwestern part of the parish, all into one.
Right.
You know, so that's District 8, and then we have the one in Watson, one in Walker, and one in Denham.
Right.
Now, them 3 are funded.
Yeah.
They have funds, which means 2/3 of our parish is unfunded.
Right.
Let's say that again. 2/3 of our parish is unfunded. And we got to fix that.
Yes.
You know, but to do that, we need to go talk to the people over there and figure out, what do they believe is affordable? Mm-hmm. What do they believe is the right thing to do? And we do that by showing them a plan.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This is how we will fix it with you helping us. You know, because I've seen where they go out and try to clean a canal out, and they could have fixed it easily by just talking to the guy that lives there.
Right.
You know, and we need to have that communication with our constituents.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is, you know, I have somebody on the Walker district, you know, I appoint 2 people on that one. And then I have the District 8. And I'm realizing neither one of them knows much at all about the other one. And I actually have one on the Watson board too. You know, so with me dealing with 3 different districts, there's no communication.
Yeah.
They don't have a clue what each one are doing.
Right.
So you might have a canal that starts in Watson, goes through Walker, and then ends up in the District 8.
Yeah.
Well, Walker decides to clean their portion out, which is in the center, in 2024, and it's 2026 before Watson decides to clean the northern part of it out.
Yeah.
Where if we created this super board, where we have one guy from each district that's on this board, they can have a quarterly meeting just to let each one know what they're working on, what they're fixing to work on. Well, they might realize, well, you know what? Since you're working on Beaver Creek, it starts in Watson and comes through Walker, and then it wounds up in the Coyell that goes down in the 8. How about we all work on that canal at the same time?
Yeah.
And we clean it from top to bottom.
Sounds like a great idea.
It's just about communication.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's communication.
I think it's a great idea. And communication will go a long way towards solving problems.
Yes.
Jim, what would you say was some of the best advice you've ever got on leadership?
I probably would say just being accessible.
Yeah.
You know, being accessible to the people that work under your direction and to the people you're working for.
Yeah.
You know, as a leader, you're that bridge.
You are.
You're that bridge between the workers and the people you're doing the work for.
Right.
And I've kind of always, I mean, look, you can ask the guys that work for me at the plant. Very seldom do you see my door shut.
Yeah.
You know, they come in, I have a big open area where they come in right outside my office and they have their lunch breaks. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and my door's always open. I can be sitting in my desk and talking to them while they're out there. If they, you know, or they could just walk up there and ask me a question, you know, I mean, I'm like that. I just make sure I'm accessible to everybody that I'm in that leadership role for.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to make sure that, you know, you need to see that in me. That I am that guy that you can just come up and talk to.
I would agree with that. And something that, you've made a commitment several times in your campaign about you're going to be at council meetings and you're going to be involved. And if you can't personally be there, you're going to have someone who can make a decision be there.
Yep.
And that is also a form of leadership. It's, and it's also, you need to be informed of what those guys are doing at all times.
And I'll even say, me and you, the last podcast talked about this, that, look, I'm the type of guy, I want to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I do, my goal is be better than whoever was there before me.
Yep.
So whatever the standards are, the people think was the best parish president we had, I'm going to leave office being better.
There you go.
They set the bar. I know where I need to go, and I'm going to make sure I'm better.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that in life, from sports in high school to wanting to be the best athlete on the field, to when I started coaching. I got into baseball. I wasn't a big baseball player as a kid, but my son liked baseball, and I went and learned everything I could about baseball so I could coach him.
Yeah.
We did tournament ball. We won state titles. We won a World Series.
Oh,
awesome. Anything that somebody told me I could not do because I was from Livingston Parish, I proved them wrong.
Yeah.
So, oh, yes, I can. And I'm going to do it with Livingston Parish kids.
There you go. Love that.
And that's what I did.
Yeah, it's huge. And let's talk for a second about, because you didn't always, we said this a little bit in the last podcast, but you didn't always want to be in politics. Like that's something that you kind of morphed into, and here you sit, who would have thought? And, your opponent, just to bring your opponent up for a second, has been in politics a long time, and you represent a change. You're a change from that. And I think it's important to mention that you are not in this just for 4 years. You're in this for the long haul. As a matter of fact, when you and I talked last time, you said, I fully intend to serve as long as the people will let me.
We have term limits. The longest I could go is 3 terms, 12 years. And if I was here for 12 years, I'd only be 65 years old.
Yeah. Still a young guy.
I'm kind of in what I consider the prime of my career, which kind of is the backside, but that's when you really get the most out of people because they have the knowledge at that point to really give you what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with what I've learned in my industry and my years of just going out there and hustling. I can bring that to the parish.
Well, it's hard, Jeff, to implement a vision in 4 years.
Very hard.
I don't even know if it's possible.
I've even told people this. I feel like getting reelected the first time should be easy for anyone.
Yeah.
Because you've had 4 years to start making changes, showing people that you're trying to make the difference, and they see it.
Yeah.
It's that third term that's the hard one.
Yep.
Because that third term, you better have proven that the changes you made are working.
Yes.
That's
right.
That's how I've looked at term limits. That your first term you show the changes, the second term you make them work.
Yeah.
If you're going to get that third one, it better be working.
That's right. If you get that third one, that means the people are happy and they approve of the job you've done because they know that that third term is it for you. So the gloves are kind of off, and the last thing you want is someone in office that can just go haywire and do whatever they want because they have no plans to run again.
Right.
So what does it matter if you don't like what I'm doing?
Yep.
Short of impeaching me, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
No, you can't. And look, and that was kind of one of the things that I kind of didn't like about term limits because you run into that. You get to where a guy gets elected for his last term. He can't run anymore.
Yeah.
He's done. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride out these last 4 years and I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm done. Where if we didn't have term limits, they would still have to work for you because they want it again.
Yeah.
But we have term limits.
Yeah.
I voted to put it on the ballot because I think the people had the right to decide that.
Well, and I will say that, by the time you get around to that third term, in my opinion, if you're someone that for 8 years have been doing the right thing and pushing yourself, you're probably going to push through that last term regardless. And, the sad thing for me about term limits is sometimes you lose people you don't want to lose. Yeah. And you can't do anything about it. I hate that.
We're fortunate here in Livingston Parish now. We have a lot of people here. We have a lot of knowledge in our parish.
Yeah.
We have a lot of businessmen in our parish. There's a lot of people there to stand up. The issue is there's a lot of them that don't want to deal with it.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with social media.
Yes.
They don't want to put their families through that.
Right.
They just don't want to have to, they're worried about it hurting their business.
Yeah.
And it's causing good people to not stand up and run that can help our parish.
That's exactly right.
And then you get these smaller parishes, which I look back to when I was a kid, how Livingston Parish was, and you didn't have many people to choose from.
Yeah.
And it's been said, we've kind of had the same people running our parish for the past 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
This transition that's going on now to the next generation should have happened 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But we got so used to the same names, the same people. Oh, well, they got it.
Yeah.
Well, they got it. And our generation didn't step up fast enough.
Right. Agreed.
And now we are, and we're getting there, and we're trying to take over.
Yeah.
And really, I think my race is probably the only one that the old generation could still hold on.
Yeah.
Other than that, look, I love Mr. Rogers Pope to death. He has done unbelievable work for our parish.
Yep.
But he's gone. He's retiring. He's out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the older guys that's been doing it forever that, we trust him.
Yeah.
He's been here forever. He's always done what the people wanted. Great guy, Mr. Bubba Harris. He's out. He's done. He's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Just these last few older guys are they just now kind of giving it up.
Right.
And it's time for us to take over.
I agree. I agree. And you're doing it and out there working every day, working hard. And that's why we like to put these podcasts out, is because we want people to be able to see who these guys are outside of 10 minutes they get to speak somewhere. That's great for the fast, answers to questions, but it's hard to learn who they are. And speaking of that, you don't have a lot of spare time, but you have some. What do you like to do outside of, MMR and sitting on the council and doing all this work for the parish?
I love to hunt and fish.
Yeah.
When I can find the time, I love to hunt and fish. I have a granddaughter that, sometimes I'm in the swimming pool with her. I'm fortunate that my son has the house next to me.
Yeah.
And, I get to see my granddaughter a lot. So I do that a lot. Look, when you see Jeff Ard, if he's got a drink in his hand, it's going to be a water or a Diet Coke. It's not going to be a beer or whiskey.
Yeah.
You're not going to see him in a bar room on Saturday night because he gets up and goes to church on Sunday mornings at Revival Temple.
Yeah.
I tell this to people all the time. I'm going to work for the people, but I serve my Lord and Savior.
Love it.
So,
love it. And so what do you like to hunt? What's your favorite? Deer?
Deer's my favorite, and it's mainly because it's an opportunity to me to sit in peace and quiet. As my wife says, I love to find a hunting camp where cell service doesn't work.
Yeah.
And just be with nature and just sit there and have my time to really just reflect. I'm good at fishing.
Yeah.
But I get too competitive in fishing. When I start fishing, next thing you know, I'm looking for a tournament to get in.
Oh, yeah.
I want people on the boat with me and start talking smack back and forth to each other. But hunting is definitely my peaceful time.
I love it, man. I love it. And look, appreciate you coming on and you get in office and win this race, and you can come back anytime and just give the people an update on what's going on in Livingston Parish from your office.
And just make sure everybody knows September 30th.
Yes.
Early voting starts.
Yep.
Runs for a week. You can go to the Dillon Springs Walker branch right there at Eden Church and vote, or you can go to the tax assessor building by the courthouse and vote.
Yep.
Then election's October 14th. And look, October 14th is a busy day for our parish. We have an election. It's going to be the Saturday of the fair.
Yes.
I think there's a trade show going on at V. Watts that day. So there's a lot of stuff going to be happening in our parish on October 14th. So if you can early vote, go early vote.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And I know some people out there, they have that tradition. We vote on election day, and that's fine because those people typically going to vote no matter what. But if you have any sort of hesitation, just vote early. Look, there's no pressure. You go to the library whenever you want during opening hours, and they'll let you vote. And there's rarely any line because it's going to be a big election.
It is big
season
election
this year, and winding down. We wish you all the luck. Please comment if you got any questions, and I'll make sure I get them to Jeff. So just comment on the podcast, and maybe we'll get him to answer some of those questions. And I appreciate you coming on as always.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, keep leading. Thank you very much.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.